to you for free, and it's half off. It's a $300 pressure washer for $149.99, $50 on a flex pay. Okay, let's launch something you've never seen before. I had to text Joe last night and go, I don't know anything about this. Is this so new? He's like, brand new from Minolta, which we know they're so great when it comes to like the quality and the clarity of being able to take pictures and video. This is the best because we're gonna do Minolta in a 4K ultra high D, which is the highest quality you can get in the video. We're gonna give you 64 megapixels when you're taking your picture. That's the highest offered, which is studio quality pictures. And then you're like, Tina, but what if I want to get something far away or I'm at graduation? 18 times digital zoom on this. And you would think all that power, all the high grade would be this big bulky camera. This thing is basically the size of a cell phone. It has this pop-up screen because we love that selfie. You're going to be able to do it without having to set up a timer or ask anybody walking by. Built-in Wi-Fi, so we're taking this right over to our phones, posting it, sending it, doing all of that. How about we give you a 32 gigabyte memory card, so load this baby up with all your brand new videos and pictures, and we're gonna do free shipping, and it still falls underneath 5 Flex, which means it's $22 to start your journey of new, beautiful videos and pictures, Joe Harrison.
Hello, Tina, it's good to see you.
I don't always text you, because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. I was like, you have to tell me about this one.
Brand new, very exciting.
Brand new.
Well, the thing about cameras are, we used to have them a decade ago, and then we're like, whoa, I can use my cell phone. And then you start realizing the cell phone camera, it looks great on that 3-inch screen, but then you print it off, and you're like, it's not so good. And then you get a phone call while you're taking a picture, then you lose the moment. Or you're recording a video, and then your GPS map comes up, and your battery's going down. The thing about having a camera is that that's its sole purpose, is to take the best photos, and not that are looking great on your 3-inch display, but are looking great when you're printing off these 10 by 20, 20 by 30 photos that are really wall art that you can hang up. And the reason why you're taking that photo, because it's a memory that you want to have forever. And this is just one photo I have. This is macro mode, not professional. These are flowers in my backyard. And I got super close to them. You see the contrast of it. And the reason why I wanted to start with this photo is because, yes, you're buying a Minolta camera. And Minolta's been making the lenses, the technology for over 90 years. However, on the inside, there's something called a CMOS sensor designed by Sony. So it's really the two best brands when it comes to photography and imagery. You have Minolta and Sony pairing together to give you this. Now, that sensor is very important because the sensor allows the light to come in at the exact perfect amount, so when you're looking at the photo later, it looks just as good as your eyes. Because sometimes if you let too much light come in, if you have a bad sensor, everything gets washed out. Or if there's not enough light that comes in, everything has a shadow and looks very dark. Look at the contrast just between the petal and then the foliage in the background, and how the purple of the bud against the petal just pops off the screen. This is all done with your camera here that costs so inexpensive compared to what your cell phone is, and that's what you're using right now, is taking your cell phone. And when you get up close to that detail, this, keep in mind, is a 10 by 20 inch photo. But we're using a 64 megapixel camera. That means there are 64 million tiny little dots on this image to make it look like I'm right there staring at that photo. And you can see I've zoomed this up. This petal, this flower is not this big in real life, and my hand doesn't even cover up the petal. But because it's 64 megapixels, you're seeing detail that frankly your other cameras can't. And to give you a comparison, you know, a lot of us, we do use our cell phone. And I've got a phone here. The phone cost me $1,000. The phone that's on here, they keep adding all of these cameras on the back. That's probably what your phone looks like. You've got all these different dots, all these different cameras. Not a single one of these cameras on my $1,000 cell phone is equal to this one that we have right here. And keep in mind, the cell phone is bigger than the camera.
Yeah.
My daughter now travels with one of these. We went to Barcelona just a couple weeks ago, and she takes her Minolta camera with her now, because that's how she wants to capture the memory instead of using the cell phone. We went to Alaska. Our very first Minolta trip was 2017. Holy macroly, I'm just like aging myself. But when we went to Alaska, we took our Minolta camera. Instead of using our cell phone, all the pictures from our Minolta are the ones that we go back to look later on down the road. We didn't print anything off in the cell phone, because the cell phone's great for making phone calls. But when you have a dedicated camera, You get that studio quality photography because it's 64 megapixels. It's the highest resolution that we've had. And this is not, again, a no-name brand. It is the power and engineering of Minolta for 90 years. It is that Sony CMOS sensor that is on the inside that is pulling in the exact amount of light to make that color look like it is true to life. So for me, Tina, when I look at this image, I look at it now and think, I remember the second I took a picture of that flower that was blooming at the perfect time. I can go back in time and remember when I took that memory, and that's why you're taking pictures. So when you start thinking about, what do I have coming up in the next couple months? We're getting ready to hit June, which means we're going to summer travel season, maybe family reunions, maybe everybody's getting together. It's these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that you truly have that split second to take that photo and then have it forever. So do you want to rely on your cell phone, which is going to be great for taking texts and phone calls, or do you want to have a camera that can give you this type of quality? So for me, Tina, when I go back to look at the memories, I would rather have something that gives me that memory again that I can truly remember when I took that one particular photo.
Now, listen, it does have built-in Wi-Fi if you want to take these pictures and send them to your phone and post them or email them or do whatever you're going to do. But the moment I realized the pictures on my cell phone were not great was when I had a baby. So 5 years ago, I had Riker.
Sure.
And I'm not a crafty, scrapbooky person, but I'll tell you, wanting physical copies of pictures for him, because I go, what do I do? At some point, do I give him the passcode to my social media? Where does he get these pictures and videos, right? So then I started printing out pictures, and I was like, these cell phone pictures are so cruddy. It looked like I took them in 1982, like with old technology, right? Because I wanted to print them, and I started doing like all of his favorites, his milestones, the things that he was doing. And you want to know what those things happen? One time.
That one time,
I can never go back and get a better quality video or a better quality picture because he's only 6 months one time. He only takes his first step one time.
First word, I mean, all these different things.
He's only going to graduate one time. Those things, if you are not capturing it with the best quality at the moment it's happening, then it's, when you, like you said, you look back on it, it's just not the same.
Oh, 100% not the same. Even when they're taking a bite of that first strawberry and they're like, oh, they make that sour face. You know, it's those memories that you want to have. And that's the great thing about having a Minolta camera, is that it gives you those captions, those qualities, those memories that are right there. And I brought a couple pictures that I have of just the little kids because, you know, my little kids are now 18 and 22.
Oh my gosh.
I love going back to look at those photos. One of my favorite is my daughter going to the school bus for the first time. First time she wore a backpack, and she just looked so big with that backpack. And maybe it's just goofing around with the kids. You know, look at the detail again, 64 megapixels. You can see the individual hairs that are on there. Those tiny little hands that are only that size for that moment. And then their hands become bigger and you can never grab that hand again. It's like, that's why when your grandkids come over and you want to capture that memory, that's why you trust Minolta. And it could be even them blowing the cameras or blowing out the birthday candles and doing that. Or what if it was that time that they came over and they rode around in a boat with Grandpa? And you're like, you know, Grandpa's getting older, the kids are getting older, they're having fun. It's that memory that they can look back and cherish. So yes, take this with you everywhere you go because it's not a big camera. I mean, it's about the size of a playing card. It fits perfectly in my hand. It is smaller than my cell phone. And the great thing about all these pictures I'm taking today, I just put it in automatic. There is a dial that's on here that has 6 different scene modes that are on there. There's a movie mode, there's a sports mode, there's an action mode, all those modes that are built into it. But if you just put on the A for automatic, it does everything for you and makes you a professional quality photographer. The reason why my daughter loves this one is because my daughter's a teenager, she's 18 years old. And like all of the girls her age, she loves taking pictures of herself. And it is so funny because I walk around thinking, why do you want these pictures? And the faces they make, to me and my wife, it's hilarious. The duck lips, all the different things they do. But she loves it because, whoop, it's got a pop-up screen. So now she has the best selfie modes. And she loves this because she's taking a selfie with a 64 megapixel photo. So when we were in Barcelona, she loved it for this reason, because she can capture the beauty of Barcelona with 64 megapixels, and she knows that the camera that's on the front is only about 2 to 3 megapixels. The selfie camera on the front of your phones is really bad. The camera on the back is the one that's the good one. So you're taking the best selfies that are out there, and because the screen flips around, you can see yourself, you can see the subject behind you, you're capturing in that 64 megapixels, so it doesn't become those grainy photos, because every time you take a picture on your cell phone, yes, it looks fantastic, when you're printing it or when you're looking on the tiny little display, but when you go to print this off, do you ever get this type of resolution? Are you often disappointed? Like it might look great on your computer, on your tablet, but then you go to print it and like, that's not really the quality I was hoping for. Because at 64 megapixels, you are now getting that quality right there. And by the way, we're showing you amazing photography. The video on this is 4K resolution. It is the highest resolution that we've ever had, so it's not just a great camera. Minolta's designed this to make it a fantastic movie camera. This is at night. So normally you take a video at night, everything's so gray because it can't capture the light. Again, Sony CMOS sensor on the inside. They teamed up with Sony to make sure even in low light situations, look how clear everybody is. It's not pixelated, it's not fuzzy, it's not grainy, it's fantastic. Here's selfie mode. With my friend Jay, he's turning around selfie mode. You can see yourself, you can see everybody else, but because it's 64 megapixels, it is high, super high quality, the highest resolution we've ever had in a digital camera. Everybody fits in there, all because you have 64 megapixels and you've got that super wide angle. So, you know, to me, Tina, as I'm looking at this, you're thinking, we already showed you the kids. We showed you the flowers that are on the backside. What happens if you're just gonna take that trip somewhere? Yeah. Like we just went to Barcelona, amazing landscapes that are so different than what we have here in America. Just when you go back and take a picture of the village, of the mountain range, the fog that's coming over the hills, it looks so unique.
Wait, you took that picture?
This is one from, my friend Jay took this picture.
Oh, Jay.
But I have not developed my photos yet. Wait until I'm able to show it. But when I look at this, you know, it takes you back to those memories. It takes you back to when I took that trip. It takes you back to where you were standing at that second. And that's why you took that photo, because you loved where you were standing. So it looks incredible. But it's also, I missed my cats when I was gone. We take so many pictures of our cats. I don't know, I mean, my kids are getting older. My wife and I take more pictures of our cats now than I think I do my kids. But they all have funny faces. And to me, the cat is gorgeous. And everybody, we love our pets. And just, you know, the pets giving the smile, doing whatever they happen to be, it's that 64 megapixel resolution. And even the cats change as the years go by. But the thing about it is you're capturing these memories on a professional quality camera. So as I showed you, from kids to your foliage, to travel, to even your pets, it creates the best pictures you can possibly have.
I want you to think about, are you gonna see the family soon? Whether it's Thanksgiving or maybe a family reunion or anything. Maybe it is the grandkids, but on the flip side, maybe it is the great-great-grandfather or the great-uncle or whatever it is. You will never wish you had had worse quality video or worse quality pictures. You will always be so happy. You know, and I've been talking this week that I took Riker to Disney for his first trip on Tuesday. That's a core memory. Oh yeah. But he's 5, and I'm thinking, how much will he really? I know he'll remember he went there. So pictures, videos. I was like documenting. Well, actually, Suming was documenting it for me, but she was like my walking photographer, because I was thinking, this first time, this magic in his eyes, the excitement of seeing it. It's only one time. It's only that one moment in life. And at the end of the road, at the end of whatever's happened, do you want to know, I cried on the way in today because Stinky Michelle Yarn sent me some video of this person talking about you say goodbye to every version of your kid as they grow up. You say goodbye. I know, cry with me, Rebecca Wood. The whole video was talking about, like, you say goodbye to the baby, you say goodbye to the toddler, you say goodbye to the grade schooler, and all these tiny little goodbyes until they grow up and then they leave, that it's like the slowest breakup is how they explained it, right?
Oh, that is a horrible way to say it.
Cry with me.
I'm with you.
Cry with me. I want videos and pictures in the crystal clear, and I want it to be devoted because I don't want anything to interrupt.
Right, especially if you think about having that moment where on your cell phone you run out of memory. And then you're like, oh,
I gotta pick the dog or the kid? No.
Exactly, you start running out of room. Here, the great thing about Minolta is it uses a micro SD card slot, which is right on the side.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, in the United States, there's a little memory card. You can go anywhere and pick up these memory cards right on the side. It's all you have to do to add that extra memory card. We give you 32 gigs right away, but you can add more if you need to later. So as your trip goes around, you know, if you need more, you easily got it right there. But when you think about having a dedicated camera, we used to get away from them because they're so big and so bulky. So then we started going to our cell phones. My cell phone is bigger than the camera itself. So, okay, size is no longer an issue. But what about the lens that's on there? Aren't these lenses great? No. I spent $1,000 on this camera. The lens on here is not even close to the 64 megapixel quality I'm getting right here. My camera, that is literally 10% of the cost of my cell phone, has a better camera that is on the inside. It makes it incredible. The nice thing too is that this can shoot 4K quality video. So not only amazing photos, but also taking amazing videos too. Quality that we've never seen out of a camera before. And then even as the boat that's coming around, look at that quality of that 4K. If I wanted to pause it right here, I could pause it and turn that into a photo, because 4K resolution is the best that we have ever had. So now you're taking these amazing photos and amazing videos. How is all this possible? Well, yes, 64 megapixels is very important because that is the amount of detail to a photo. But why that picture, why that video we just showed you looks so good is that Minolta teamed up with Sony, and on the inside there's this thing called a CMOS sensor. So now you have the technology behind Sony, the technology behind Minolta to give you this quality print. Now this is just a bunch of peppers that we have at our house. And when you see that, don't look at the clutter around the rest of the house. But when you see this, everything just pops off the screen. The reason why, it's those two things. It's the lens from Minolta. It is the sensor from Sony that allows the proper amount of light to come through, which brings those colors out. They're not oversaturated, they're not overshadowed. It is perfect when you have that perfect combination between the two of those, really making it incredible resolution.
What are you guys doing with all those peppers?
Well, these are hot peppers. You know, I like this thing called Cajun shrimp penne, where you slice up all these peppers and put a little Cajun in there with a little seasoning. It is delicious.
You're gonna bring me some.
I will bring you some.
Why? We heard it here. So great-great-grandpa, he's gonna love it because it's super easy. Yes. One button operation. The 18-year-old's gonna love it.
My daughter loves it.
For the reverse, we're gonna be able to see, take selfies.
What she loves, yes, she loves it for selfie mode, but because you can download the app, she can upload every picture from here to her phone. Now it's on Snapchat, Instagram,
it's on all the things, right? So every age, whether this is for you, this is a gift, whether this was graduation, this is birthday, this is Christmas, the name, the top of both, the 4K for the video and the megapixels for the still pictures, 64 meg, it's the highest of both. And you would expect this to be gigantic. You would expect it to look like those really fancy photographer cameras that they have to wear the big thing around their neck and it's really heavy. It's so small, but super powerful. We're giving you the 32 gigabyte memory card. So we're even setting you up for success because you're gonna start taking pictures and going, these are so good, I wanna take more. These videos are more. Even if your cell phone right now is at its max capacity, do $22 in free shipping on this and you have a whole new fresh slate of better video, better pictures.
Well, that's what you wanna do. You're taking these photos for a reason.
Yeah.
And when you go back later on, that's when you appreciate the photo. When you're in the moment right now taking the photo, you're like, it's great.
Yeah.
But then it's like 5 years down the road when the kids are getting older, they're no longer that size. Or remembering, oh yeah, remember we took them to Disney that first time or took them on that first vacation and they had that expression on their face. Because like Tina mentioned, it only happens once. There's so many parts of our life where it happens just one time and you don't appreciate it today. It's yourself 5, 10, 15 years down the road that thanks yourself for taking that one photo. And maybe it's just the kids goofing around in the back with all their friends. And everybody is smiling. And because you have action mode, as they're jumping around, it captures the quality that you want. It captures that memory perfect in time. Because it's 64 megapixels, you know, now we're switching to a vertical format and the photos look just absolutely amazing. So this is just a bunch of kids here in portrait mode that you can take, or if you're going to landscape, maybe you're going to Holland, maybe you're taking a European trip, maybe you're going somewhere where you've just never seen it and this is going to be your once in a lifetime trip. The windmill in the background, completely in focus. Look at the color that's popping up off that windmill. And then you have the water in between it and then with the foliage out front. Every picture, you can hang this in your room and every time you pass it, you're like, I remember when I was there. Professional quality photography, all done just with a click of a single button. Keep in mind, there's an automatic mode that can take all these photos or 6 different modes that are available. This is when we're standing, you can see she's in the foreground, she's in focus, and then you have the detail of the artwork from the building behind it that is also in focus. Minolta has found a way, because a lot of times when you use your cell phone can only focus on a tiny little square, a tiny little segment. It's on her, and everything else is blurred.
Yeah.
Look at the quality of the photo that you're getting today. So now when you're taking those trips, when people are coming over, when you've got a large family that's getting together for that family reunion photo, it's gonna look amazing. And then just to show off that color again, this is what Minolta, this is what Sony, do the best. When you see the colors that are on here, how many times do you take a picture with your cell phone and the colors don't look the same as what you remember them?
Tell me that doesn't look, that shot right there, it doesn't look like we're standing here with the shoes.
I mean, it truly does. And when you see the detail, I mean, look how big my finger is. This is a painting that's on that individual little wooden shoe. I mean, it is so tiny compared to my finger, but it's 64 megapixels, which means there are 64 million dots on this screen, the most that we've ever offered. Those dots are so small, they allow that type of detail. But then with that special Sony CMOS sensor that allows the perfect amount of light, I can remember when we were there taking that photo. And if you are so disappointed with your camera, thinking I need to take my cell phone everywhere I go because that gives me the best photos, but you're not happy with it, your new camera from Minolta is smaller than your cell phone, takes higher resolution. With one touch of a button, you have all these perfect photos that I'm showing you today.
Free shipping, 5 flex, brand new.